Hi everyone, this is Cameron McKenzie, and today we're going to be looking at some of the new features inside of Fusion 360's drawing environment. Fusion have updated quite a few of the tools or added a few new tools into the drawing environment over the last few updates, and today we're just going to be taking a look through some of these new tools that are available to us. I am recording this video after the May 2022 update, so most of the tools that we're going to be looking at today are going to be from this one, but there will be a few other tools from some of the previous updates as well, as Fusion are beginning to add quite a lot of new tools and functionality to the drawing environment. So the first tool I want to show you today is the auxiliary view tool. So we've had up until now the ability just to place down projected views from inside of our base view. So the projected views have generally been using the existing views inside of our part. The only other way up until now really to get a very specific view of a surface has been to create a custom view inside of Fusion. Now with auxiliary views, we've got the ability to align a view to a particular surface or an edge. So it allows us a lot more customization in the placement of our views. The file we're working with today has quite a few very specific angles to their walls. So I'll show you quickly the angles that we're busy working with in this one and how we can use our auxiliary views to place down the align views to each of those faces. So in the dimensions tool, I'm just going to show you quickly the angle between these ones. So we've got a wall on this side at 19.88 degrees, and we've got a wall on this face. Let me just zoom in a little bit just to get to there, at 20.22 degrees. And then we've also got this this little entrance way over here, and that's at a 20-degree angle from the front face. So as you can see, very specific angles for each of those. I'm just going to remove these quickly because I don't actually need them inside of my drawing. And we're just going to begin to place down our auxiliary views. So those of you that are familiar with it from other applications will be familiar with the placement of it. But yeah, with regards to Fusion, this is a brand new tool that's available inside here. So if I select auxiliary view, all we need to do for an auxiliary view is we need to have a parent view to start off from. And then we can begin to select an edge that we want our view aligned to. So if I pick this edge over here for the one wall, I can then plop down a view of that particular face right down on the other side of my base view. I can do the same. I can hit OK on there and place down another auxiliary view of the other wall and just place it down on the other side over here. And what you'll notice again, we've got the same options as all of our other views that we've had up until now for our projected views and for our section views and that, where we can come in and pick the visual styles, tangent edges, we can choose the scale and all of that as well. So same options that we are used to. We've just now got the ability with just a single click on an edge to be able to plop down our auxiliary views aligned to specific edges. If I select that front face of the that little entrance hall over there for my little hamster house, we've got the ability to align our view directly to that entranceway over there. So we can then begin to take measurements from that particular view. I could then also, as I've said, just align that to an edge as well. So up until now, I've been looking at aligning it perpendicular to faces so that we can view those faces directly on. We've also got the ability to align our views directly to a edge as well. So if we wanted a view of our house aligned to that roof, we've got the ability just to select that edge, that top of that roof, and we've now got at a very odd angle. I'm not sure exactly what angle that is, but it's not the same as that entrance hall over there. We've got the ability to put down a view of our, it looks very similar. We've got an ability to place down a view of our house aligned to that roof as well. So if we ever needed any dimensions on that roof, we've got the ability to pick those up as well. So that's the auxiliary view. We've got the ability to place those down. I'll just pick another face quickly over here. This would have been technically a projected view, but we've got the ability to align our view either perpendicular to the face, so right onto the face, aligned to the face, or aligned along that edge as well. So depending on the angle we choose, we can go at 90-degree increments and choose the angle that we want. One of the other new features that we've got available to us is in the dimensions dropdown. In fact, two of the options are in here. The first one is the jogged radial dimension. So this allows us to pick radial dimensions where we wouldn't perhaps have the space to put a normal radial dimension. Perhaps we want the inside edge of our radius. I want to be able to add the dimension in from them. So essentially, instead of just using the center point of the arc, we've now got the ability to place a different center point as well. So if I pick my arc in the same way that I would pick for the radial dimension, I can then specify a center location override. So again, instead of using the center point of the arc, I can come into another point and click down to place that in. I've then got the ability to place down my jogged radial dimension, and I can choose the positioning of the jog as well as the positioning of that center point now as well. So a really nice handy tool to have, especially if you are working with smaller arcs and want to still put those dimensions in. We've got the ability to use those now as well. The other tool that we've got available to us is the arc length dimension. So if we ever need to measure the length of an arc, we've got the ability to do so now, again, directly inside of the Fusion drawing environment. So in the dimensions dropdown, we've got arc length dimension. We can then just pick the arc that we want to measure its length, and we can plot that dimension straight down onto the drawing. So if we're ever needing to pick up surface dimensions, any surface area, or we need to establish exactly how long that particular edge will be, we've got the ability to add in that dimension now as well. The next feature that I want to take a look at quickly is the ability we have now to rotate views. Up until now, we've just been left with the views as they are. As you can see with this particular one, we've got our auxiliary views at odd angles now, and if we wanted to just neaten off the display of our view, we've got the ability to rotate our views as a whole so that it's a little bit squarer, it's a little bit neater in the placement of our views. So inside of the modify panel, we've now got the ability to rotate views. We can pick a base view, for example, this the base view itself for this particular drawing. We then need to choose the transform option. So this is where we set the base point essentially for our rotation. We can come in and pick a point inside of our view or off of the view if we wanted to. And then we can begin, once we've got that base point selected, we've got the ability to now rotate our view all the way around. So we can then begin to plot this down at whatever angle we need to. So I'm just going to align it so that the top and the bottom view are more or less vertically aligned, and just plop that down over there. It'll take a few seconds to update that, but as soon as that's done, we should have views that are nicely aligned again. So if you are working with very odd angles, especially with the auxiliary views, we've got the ability now to line up all of the views nice and cleanly. Just hit OK on that to confirm, and then we could, if we needed to, make adjustments to any of the dimensions that we've placed in already, if we needed to. And finally, the last feature we're going to have a look at today, or the last update we're going to have a look at today, will be inside of the attributes. So we've had the ability up until now to have attributes inside of our title block. So if we double click on our title block, we've got the ability to enter in either our own attributes or edit the attributes that sit inside of the title block itself, or have those linked to the file that we're working in. And some of the new attributes that we've got available to us, if I go out of the title block and do a right click edit title block inside of our sheet settings, we've got a few new attributes that we've got access to if we begin to add these in. So inside of our text panel, we've got the attribute placement or the attribute tool. If I place my attribute down here at the bottom, you'll see one of the new attributes that we've got available to us is the model mass. So that will look at the model that's the primary model inside of our drawing and give us the mass of that particular model. We've also got part number, part name, and material that have been added in. So we've got the ability to come in and bring each of those values in. So those are the 4 attributes we've got available to us now. If I hit finish title block editor or finish title block, you can see we've now got those names available to us. If I double click inside of the title block now and wait for the little window to pop up, there we go. Inside of the title block properties, we've got the ability to customize the way that our units display, so our mass down here at the bottom. By default, it will pick up the default units that your drawing is using. We can either use the document settings or the model settings, but we can also override that as well. So if we wanted to show how many grams, what the measurement is in grams, or what the measurement is in ounces, we've got the ability to come in and pick those up as well. So we could either use the model settings, document settings, or override that as well. We've also got the ability to change the precision of this. So whether we want to go to 2 decimal points, 3, 4, 5, however many we want to, really up to 8. So we can come in and choose our precision for this as well, or reset back to defaults. Awesome. So that's been a few of the updates that have come out in the last few updates inside of Fusion. I hope this has been beneficial to you. If you've noticed anything else inside of either the drawing environment or even inside of the rest of Fusion, give us a shout, drop a comment. If there's anything else that you'd like us to have a look at, something that you're excited about coming out soon, give us a comment as well. But yeah, other than that, thanks so much for your time and enjoy the rest of your day.